It was just the Shake Shack sort of default one. The Shack burger, I believe it's
Yeah,
called.
but like you get like tomatoes, onions, pickles.
Tomato, no onions, no pickles. That's why I love Shake Shack. It's my favorite. It's
You don't like onions?
No, not in
all
my
or
burger.
on
Not
burgers?
in my burgers. Okay. One tomato, a little bit of lettuce, one slice of cheese, the loaf, not the loaf, the patty, and the bread.
Wait. You don't like onion in a burger, but you like tomato.
Yes, I love tomato in general, but also in a burger, it's cool. It's good.
I don't really like tomato in general.
And I hate pickles. Pickles
either.
are massive for burgers. I hate pickles.
You don't like pickles?
No, not at all.
Pickles are delicious.
Hi, Josh.
Oh, he's back.
Hi, Josh.
Who's set up here?
Stinko?
Is that Dinko?
Do you wanna say hi to the podcast again?
Yeah, sure.
We just
How
started.
was your day at work?
What's up, Twitch chat? Yes, today was the fuck you day, the 3 games in a row. And they had everything from tech pauses to third maps to overtimes to basically fuck you to me.
Yeah.
And now you're going to stream.
And now I'm going to play FPL because I'm psychotic.
He really is the NA pimp.
I mean, fuck it, yeah.
Do you cycle?
No, I'm not that psycho.
You should pick it up.
No, I think I'm okay.
Cycling or eating cake, I think, is the 2 options.
I am down for eating cake.
He likes cake.
I can't believe he's about to play FPL. Because he's about to play FPL in America, which isn't like playing FPL in Europe. FPL in America is probably like, I don't know, 3,200 ELO in Europe.
Yeah.
And most of the players that he plays with probably don't know half the utility.
Yeah, it's garbage. Do you think...
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's hard.
Do you think when he's working Valorant events as an analyst, he plays FPL for Counter-Strike, or do you think he plays like the Valorant Pro Pugs?
This is a Counter-Strike podcast, so we can talk shit about Valorant
We
here.
can talk as much shit about Valorant as we want.
I think secretly Josh fucking despises Valorant.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's just doing
going
it
to
for
talk
the money.
shit about Valorant for my personal
He's just
pleasure.
whoring himself out to Riot.
Any real Counter-Strike player hates Valorant. And that's why I don't know who Sean Gares is anymore.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead to us. He's out there. DDK, they're all gone.
Well, he was never a Counter-Strike guy, was he?
No, he was
Yeah,
a
Quake
Quake
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quake OG, but he put some work into Counter-Strike. I give him some credit for that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're handing out credit now, are you, Jason?
Just a little
So-
bit.
He is the authority on fucking who's the Counter-Strike guy.
I thought he was done handing out credit after he's paying $8 for a Michelob Ultra.
Hotel prices are well, $8 for those, $17 for this. It doesn't even feel worth
That
it.
seems worth it.
$40 round of drinks.
I know, just for the podcast. Fuck me.
And we're not even going to get anything out of it.
Well, thank God we're bringing some sponsorships in. Am I right?
Thank you for the beer, Jason.
You're welcome. Anytime.
A superior light beer, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories,
I don't know how you guys
4.2% alcohol.
Drink that shit.
It's that kind of water. I like. That's why I like it. It's
Yeah, no, I
refreshing.
understand the theory because I do the same thing. Like I'm more of like I can't do craft beers anymore after college and went crazy.
Wasn't that like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
After college.
No, but they would have been
high
ham on the
school.
craft beers, right? They made them like suit. They just started packing them full of hops. They started
Yeah,
making them
IPAs
look
and
crazy, and
stuff.
I'm just like, guys, like we don't need to do this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I only now have been drinking a little bit more socially because I don't know. Maybe it's fun. I haven't worked it out yet. I don't get to the point with the drinking where I
You go
am.
in and out. You have the fun
Yeah,
stretches
but
and
it's like I'm a 2-beer Andy now, which I guess is a positive.
good for you.
Yeah,
That's
think
$16.
that's true. Yeah.
I think it's good though because you hang out a little bit. You never get drunk, so you don't have the negative effects of it. And yeah, just hang out.
There hasn't
with the
been
boys.
much going on this Dallas though. I've been like you might have been, but I've been finishing late because I've been on the nights, and you just finish and you're like because your whole day.
Is waiting.
Well, you're watching.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're not doing the night games, then you can watch on the side while you're having dinner or check in. But during the day, because it's like, well, what can you do during the day? We go to the gym. Rush and I went today to go see where Leah Harvey Oswald took the shot out of the building.
The grassy knoll.
6th story.
The other guy was there.
Well,
and
he
the third
wasn't.
guy
On the,
was.
he was in the building in the boxes.
Yeah.
And I saw where he took the shot from, and
He wasn't impressed. I talked to him earlier about this.
I reckon. Look, mate. Rush and I were talking about this.
That'd be a pretty good shot.
If
man.
if I had a Mosen in DayZ in that window, I would be in DayZ. I'd be hitting that shot.
What if you had a Mosen in real life?
In a Mosen in real life? I wouldn't even know where to start. No, I wouldn't even know where to start. But DayZ is the closest thing I have, Jason.
Sure.
I think
get that.
there's a great video on just that building on that day by, I think it's Lemino, the YouTube.
Is it the one Alex linked?
It's like
Alex linked us like
It's like an hour and
Yes.
60 minutes
Yeah,
long.
I
or
watched
something.
Yes,
it.
Yeah.
and it's like a minute by minute, all the people that written out and
breakdown.
all that stuff. It was very mesmerizing.
Is that the one where he hires all the paid the voice actors to like voice the different characters?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
pretty
video.
good? And now I have to rewatch JFK. That's a great movie.
I mean, what a waste though to make like an hour-long YouTube video on that assassination. We know that Magneto curved the bullet.
As X-Men taught us, of course.
First class.
See, so this is the thing. I haven't actually watched the footage in a while, but doesn't his head end up on the boot of the car?
Not the whole head.
Yeah, but obviously part of his head.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to work, but the bullet would have come from behind.
Yes, Chad, there's a lot of questions. Also, the magic bullet, because it went, I don't know, from his head, the back of his head through like his liver and the other guy's knee, like it doesn't make sense.
Now, I'm no expert, but couldn't it ricochet in the skull?
Not like that. No, it took like too many
turns.
That's the whole thing.
Too many
I literally
turns.
know nothing about guns.
That's
Jason
your cop out, just.
No, he's quoting a comment from the last YouTube video.
I got some flack when I said guns. I was like, Moses shouldn't be the guy to ever talk about guns. I'm like, yeah, I fucking know that. That's why it was a stupid fucking joke.
And we all were partially, well, besides you, but we were tired and jet lagged.
Yeah.
So I hope everything that we said there they take and it holds up in a court of law somewhere. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
But obviously, as we all predicted on the last episode, G2 we're going to make the playoffs,
It was
as we
written in
all
the stars.
predicted.
Yep.
So cheers to us, really, guys. I can't believe we predicted that. Three of the greatest minds in Counter-Strike predicting that
Hands
Stewie.
down.
Oh, I can't believe it.
I'll tell you what, though. What I like about Stewie is like he had some rough games leading up to this point, but I knew like when he played against Liquid, like he's one of those players who gets like a whole new level of focus when there's a like grudge match to it, and he gets like a whole different level of attitude.
Well, I don't think attitude's his problem.
No, it's rusty in the game for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think.
And I think
And hitting smokes on Nuke.
I can't believe they entrusted him to do that. Hey, Stu. So these can be quite technical. Can you do these?
maybe that was the
round for us?
only smoke they asked him in the entire map pool. They were
Yeah,
like, we just
yeah.
need you to learn this one fucking.
Well, it
smoke.
was two.
Actually, I think the bigger thing was his. I think you tweeted about it or put it in the chat or something. His play on Dust 2 in that 3v3 when he tries to make that play through the smoke. It's like that is like kind of the live by Stewie, die by Stewie effect. Like, bro, you don't need to rush out of the B bomb site. It's a 3-on-3. This bomb site's hard to retake. Don't fucking do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not feeling 100% myself today a little bit. And that was a good thing watching that game because I think I would have like lost my mind.
So you were able to stay a bit more reserved.
Yeah, I was a little bit like more dead inside. So, but some of the, like, how does Nexa was fucking useless this series. I don't think I've seen him have less impact ever. Like on Nuke at the very end on T side, where like he gets one kill in this round, with the Tech 9 on the rush or something like that, where I'm like, the fact that you're even mentioning that is like an impactful thing. It fucking tells you how shit of a game he had. I mean, that round they lost to Glocks, he's corner with an M4 or an AK, and he doesn't kill a single guy. Armorless Glocks. How?
Josh,
How?
give us a Glocks.
Glocks! I don't know. That's the D's thing.
He didn't hit the
Yeah.
pitch.
I know,
right.
but it was good.
He did. He's slightly off on the tone.
Thanks for
Thanks for trying
working with
that.
me though.
So it's like, why is Nico getting close against fucking pistols on long? That's why where are you going? What are you trying to do?
Why
It's
is,
like
why is
someone-
Hunter extending on the flank when they had them both trapped towards
yeah,
them?
that as well. Why are these inexplicable things happening to does this team not want to win games?
Well, they ended up losing that map.
Yes, they did 13-11, of course. And then Stewie, who's actually saved their ass on the CT side a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really good on B, holding it. It's like 3v3, and I can understand. Like he's thinking because of all the chaos, he can catch a timing. But bro, it's B side Dust 2. It's so fucking hard to retake. Even though Liquid did have some good utilities, just play with your teammates. You're there. You're on match point.
But they
there,
qualified,
you've secured-
Yanko.
They're through. No more stress until not even really stress.
No,
in the
Chad, but you
quarterfinals.
you can't be just caring about the result.
What do we care about then?
The way it's
We're in a
happened,
result-driven
the way-
industry.
Yeah, I know, but okay. So what do you think about
I don't know
Navi
about
then?
that. We've seen a lot of upward failure.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. I think. Well, it's the same thing I've always thought about Navi. I think they won the major and they played well at the major, but they're a team who is lacking a lot.
They looked bad today. They're like bad these past 2 events.
Well, fucking VP.
They are bad.
VP lost to Big.
Yeah, VP looked even worse.
So
I don't know about that,
does everybody just sucks? That's the conclusion from Dallas. Everybody's bad.
And hey, it was a great episode. We'll see you guys later next week, perhaps.
Well, no, but seriously,
No, I think there's. I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's that everyone's bad. I think there's still some changes that CS2 is making, like in terms of how the game is played. Like the game still feels.
Are you doing an Apex? Are you blaming ESL or something?
No.
For no.
I'm just saying
now?
the game at the moment feels like there's a lot more like ability for individuals to influence rather than the team play and the hardcore protocols that we saw evolve towards the end of CSGO. I think it's a lot more faster paced. So a team like Virtus Pro has obviously been existing on a philosophy of slow paced rounds for 4 years, 5 years.
We lost to Big, who just fired their coach by committee.
I don't have a good answer for that one particular. I didn't watch the game.
Navi lost to Heroic playing.
Give me a break, Chad. Like, are we fucking gonna
Navi
start throwing
lost
hands
to
here?
Heroic,
But, like,
who
when
are
you-
playing with their ex-girlfriend that they dumped a week and a half ago.
And she's ugly.
Nikolas, you're not ugly, but
No, Nicolas, you're not talking. But it's
the
like just to add-
metaphorically,
the metaphorically,
yeah.
like
no, yeah, but I'm
you know,
yeah, but
you got a new hot piece of ass that you couldn't take to the prom with you.
Liquid, which was already a dead roster.
Yeah.
Stop being shallow. It's about personality.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
Liquid lost to G2 with Stewie 2K standing in, who's got a case of the Kirby aim in the majority of the games that he's played.
Yeah. And
Like,
he's not,
bro,
it's not by design.
That round, I'm watching, and then I'm watching the round on Nuke where they're calling an upper hit, and Twist is like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, gets 3.
Turns around because of the flash, and Stewie is just Wing at him and shooting. It's like, bro, just stop and shoot and kill him. And then, of course, Twist gets 3 kills. That's where I thought the game was pretty much over.
It was just, I
After that
can't believe
round.
how simple the calling was, but the calling that worked to get them across the line. Like smoke wall into warehouse, win the round. Smoke wall down secret with 4, win the round. Top rush. That's essentially how they. And I was like, wow, okay, well,
Dang.
yeah. And they had to address the problem. Like it was, hey, basic calling, but it worked. And I think it's quite telling. This is the thing. For the people who are in the know, they've known, and I'm talking about us. I'm like, but Liquid's been fucked for a while.
Not you.
Liquid's been fucked for a while. Even though there's been the rumor about the Caden stuff, we knew before that there was some issues in the team, and it likely wasn't
Yep.
going to be the roster. Yeah, I think that right now, in my opinion, there's 4 teams that have everything that is required to be a top team at the moment. Spirit's one of them. FaZe is the other. I thought Mouse, but then when I read that Torji interview, and apparently they didn't practice after Bet Boom, which makes no sense because you are now on the player break.
I think you can be annoyed about that and not write them off.
I think
that's a learning experience, I think, for that team.
and Astralis.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 teams in my mind with all the players and the way that they
Not
play
Vitality.
the game. I think that Vitality has some issues. I think that one of their bigger problems, and you see it in a lot of these occasions, it feels like Apex is having to do a lot in terms of managing players. I don't think there's enough of them that have, we spoke about this before.
Yeah.
I don't think enough of them take the responsibility that's required in the team to.
Do you think it's responsibility or discipline?
No, I think
in terms of, like,
I think the
decision-making?
discipline's fine. I think that Counter-Strike, though, as you can have an in-game leader who makes a lot of the calls, but in a game that's so intricate now and decision-based heavy,
You need multiple people across
to be
the
making
map.
those calls. And if it is Apex having to do it, and there's a delay to those things, it's always going to have a cap on what's possible. And when you have the games where the players play really well, because the players can play really well, they have very good players, then it can just work. But I think what they lack is that, and I don't know how they instill that within the team. They lost to 9Z today.
Yes, they did.
Like,
That's wild.
they lost to 2-0.
Yeah. So did Mouse.
Yeah. Well, Mao's
Not
lost
too
one
bad.
map, but yeah, they did lose. Like 9Z beat Team Liquid, who didn't make it. They beat Mouse, who didn't make it, and they beat Vitality, who were playing a seeding match.
Problem is you can't fuck with that fucking result if you beat Mouse and Vitality.
No, you can't. And that seeding match actually meant something. It's not like Vitality weren't playing for anything. They put themselves, if they won that, they could have put themselves on the opposite side of the bracket as Team Spirit, which I'm not sure they would have known at the time because the match was going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
But regardless, Spirit went into the game against FaZe as a favorite. So you should have been thinking that was a possibility now. Now they play against Heroic in the semifinal and they quarterfinal, and then they'll play against Spirit in the semifinal. On the other side of the bracket, FaZe play against G2, and then they play against 9Z in the semi. So we're on course for a FaZe versus Spirit grand final.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what we want.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think for me still, Yeah, you kind of you talked about this last time. You fucking hate Spirit because they didn't play some of these tournaments. But
I don't
they
hate them.
They look. No, I mean hate them. You're just disappointed that.
Would like to have seen them.
That we didn't get to see them in some of these other tournaments, right? But I think that to me they look the best because they have the combination of good team play, like good structure. That they look solid. The things that they're doing on the map make sense, and then they have Donk, right, and also Shiro. And the other guys, the role players
Chopper's
are also
calling well. Magic,
they're contributing well. They're the complete team, and you feel like FaZe potentially could because of the amount of experience and the veterancy that they have on the roster, but their guys need to step up individually when they play Spirit, right? And for the other teams, it seems like they're too inconsistent. Vitality on a good day, sure, they can match up. They also permaban Ancient.
Yeah.
So the veto works out for them. I think they have a decent veto against Spirit. But Mouse, I still, they still to convince me when it comes to these arena games, like playing against some of these other teams.
That's why I'm the most disappointed in them, because this was their opportunity to make good on the momentum that they had. But to know that instead of trying to run with that momentum, they opted to take a break.
See. That's your
right?
biggest issue with it. You have an opportunity after 2 trophies to come into this with momentum and say, we're going to fuck this up and we're going to prove that we can play in an arena.
Exactly.
We're going to fucking suck up the mental exhaustion. We're going to grind practice for 4 days, get to Dallas and handle business.
Well, I think,
and then go on still 6 weeks worth of break.
Yeah,
I know, but it doesn't necessarily work that way. That because you'll have 6 weeks, 2 weeks from now,
you have to play.
That doesn't negate the fact that you're like tired right now, and that they've been in Malta for a long time, won the tournament, straight into Belgrade to play Bet Boom, right, and only have like 4 or 5 days before you need to travel to another continent. So I think for me, I wouldn't have given them 5 days. I wouldn't have not played at all. I think that was the mistake. I would have played at least. I would play 2 days, but it would also be light days of practice, and I would play 2 days just so that we're there, we're talking, players are playing, right? Because in 4 days off, you can't travel anywhere. Like if you want to give your players a week off so they can travel somewhere with their girlfriends or whatever the fuck, but if you're giving them 4 days, they're not going anywhere. Like they're just staying at home, just taking it more chill. If you're doing that, you might as well fucking get on for 4 or 5 hours, right? Bang out a couple of games, keep the vibes up, keep the energy up, as you said, build on that momentum. And even Torji in the interview said, that it was a mistake, and then said that it's like a lesson for them. Yeah, in a sense of not probably the best of ideas.
But it just leaves a bad taste. They could have been in contention for a conversation of team of the season, but now because of the type of events they won, they're not in that conversation in my mind.
And they could have been saying, we have a chance to get a second notch for the Intel Grand Slam. And
it just feels so
Cologne,
short-sighted.
You win Cologne.
But that's that's going to be a problem for them.
But like all of a sudden, if you win on the arena in Dallas, that's like the stepping stone. It's not close to the scale, but you're like, this is an arena that we got under our belt. Let's take that fucking stigma off ourselves and get to Cologne.
I can't, man. It's just, I'm sorry, but like this fucking Navi thing is bothering me so much. Like I cannot.
Which of the Navi?
I cannot forgive fucking Taz, and I cannot forgive fucking Kerrigan for what they did at the major.
The veto.
The fucking ancients, the motherfucking ancients. And G2 is, by the way, what is it now? 12-1 on Inferno, with the one loss being to Liquid in Chengdu. Another comeback today, being down 8-2, winning the game.
It is kind of crazy that they came back.
13,
now, Liquid
8.
did help them there a little bit.
No, Liquid helped them a lot, but it's like, and then even fucking FaZe in the final.
How did Liquid help them exactly?
Like,
I heard you talking late in the game on the cast, but I didn't actually watch a lot of the second half.
8-4 at half. Yeah. In control of the game. The rounds that G2 are winning, one was a saved AK, one was a hero AK. The others, they won out B 2v2s or whatever, right? So the rounds that they were winning on the T side were difficult rounds. They weren't having an easy time. Liquid had their number.
Yeah.
Yukinda was farming them with MP9s on gun rounds.
He was having a good game in the first half, I saw.
Yeah. Then he ended up only getting
1 kill in the
second half. But here's what happens. They lose pistol.
Sure.
T side. Liquid.
Yep.
No plan. What would you do? You get 2,400 next round.
Save.
They force ball.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so then they lost that. They did hardly any damage. Didn't plan.
They killed one guy.
Killed one guy. Then, okay, so now what would you do?
Don't tell me they bought again.
They dropped 2 AKs in force ball. And then Twist went and searched mid on his own, and Yukinda went and searched Banana on his own. Then they lost that.
Maybe they killed 2 guys.
On that round?
No, on the second round.
Yeah, but still.
But still, it wasn't like one player left alive, and they didn't plant.
Yeah.
in that round either.
So they just fucked their economy up for like the first 5
Yeah,
rounds.
and then they eco'd.
Yeah, well, naturally, you
Yeah.
have to.
But then at that point, the scoreline's tied up at 8-8.
And
So
G2 probably
an
has a good
8-4
amount
half.
of bank, and now instead of having to win 1, maybe 2 rounds, you have to win 3 rounds.
And then after
to break
that,
them.
so then they go, okay, well, let's actually start playing Counter-Strike right now. So they go into a default round.
Too late.
And then Hunter pushes through their own mid-smoke, the G2 smoke, kills Yakinda. The map gets completely cut in half. They have no territory. They try to go A, they stop. Then they go back to go B. They go B late. They get blocked at like 25 seconds with a smoke. And that's the first actual gun round they played. And they get destroyed in the first 15 seconds of the round because Hunter pushed down mid and killed Yakinda.
And then it's 10-8 all of a sudden for G2.
Yeah.
And they actually bought after that round as well,
With the
even
Tech
though they
Nines
didn't get the
and the Mac
plant.
10.
No. And then it was the eco at 10-8, the half-by. And then Keith just, I don't know how Nexa got blind completely in boiler, but
Oh, yeah.
Keith just rushes up mid, short, kills 2 guys. Monacy is...
Twist gets another kill, right?
No, they killed Nexa and Hunter, and Monacy
Yeah.
was inside.
I don't
And
need
the
the kill feed. I just was
Yeah,
curious.
never mind. But
You know,
Monacy is
broad
inside.
strokes.
He kills one guy with the op, right? He's in cold zero.
3v5 at this point.
Yeah, and he's alone in the site against 5 liquid players.
Is this the Tech 9 round?
Yeah, he kills
yeah.
one guy, whips out the Tech 9, kills Nav, who was low HP, kills the guy rushing him.
And then quick scope on
and
the guy
then quick
coming out, yeah.
quick scopes on the 4th player. That was sick.
And then Twist had a 1-on-2 that he almost won, which he also got this crazy bullshit opener onto Hunter through the toolbox. He spammed him. Then they go in towards the side. I think Twist gets another kill. His position graveyard is a 3v3 retake. They come up short. They trade out. It's now Twist graveyard in a 1-on-2. They don't know where he is. Nico runs into the site. Monacy jumps into the site. He starts shooting Monacy first, but sees that Monacy's midair, so cancels the kill, goes to Nico because Nico's on the ground, frags Nico. By the time Monacy hits the ground, the Tech 9's in his hands and he flicks around and kills Twist.
It was insane what he was doing
like a
in some of
bullshit.
those rounds. But I don't think if I don't remember if it was you who said or Maniac on the desk. Like even if they win that round, like even if the Monacy round doesn't happen, you don't really have a lot of faith in Liquid. Like they don't have a. It was just like a freeze time call, right? A rush on a half by. Like they didn't know how to win rounds. They weren't close to winning rounds. Neither was G2, but that was because they were a little bit stubborn in like defaulting and trying to like do stuff on B, and Liquid was just constantly playing 3B, like in mid rounds, re-aggressing top banana, finding kills. They were just really owning them there. And it's also a problem when you have a fucking passive lurker like Nexa who's never going to take space.
Yeah.
One time he did try, like it was when Kadian was holding him.
That's the shit that tilts me is like, not tilts, but that's the shit that has me scratching my head because it's like, if your entire philosophy behind dropping JKS to get Nexo was you wanted someone who was going to be a little bit more active and take initiative, and then you're calling him a passive lurker who's not taking space or doing anything.
Who can't shoot.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I mean, it's listen,
we don't need to go back. We don't need to go
I
and pass on that.
I
one.
can understand that there was the whole, is Nico going to Falcons? Are they going to lose Hunter as well? It's like the team going to look completely different, right? And then they're trying to make, I still don't know how that change was going to happen ever.
Okay,
No, we don't need to- we don't need to do it.
Listen,
We don't need to do it.
listen. Yanko, we're going to solve so many problems right now. You know that it's time that,
Yanko's like,
that
"Fuck, I need
Nico
another beer." transitions.
He's gonna. Listen. He needs to do the device. Nico and Monacy to Liquid with NAF and Twists. Yakinda can stay. I know you hate that. We can have that discussion another day.
Okay,
We
so
got-
Nico IGL to Liquid.
Yeah, we got Yakinda
Monacy.
and Nico as the aggressive pieces. Twists is doing a bit of everything. NAF, the main anchor, and Monacy on the AWP.
I mean, I personally fucking love it. I don't think it's anywhere close to a realm of possibility.
I think the problem is, first of all,
How much you reckon Nico and Monacy would be to buy out? 2 million?
I think Monacy's contract's up next year.
to 3 million.
So you just wait, stand pat.
I don't know if you wait, but I don't know if it's up next year. I think
Has to be over 2.5.
for both,
Then you're
Yeah.
also playing in the European RMRs,
which
so
they should have done anyway.
not being
They should have
RMRs,
done
but-
anyway.
Why?
Buy the bullet Liquid. Stop pretending you're North American.
I don't think they're North American, but I think there's a benefit to playing in the
Yeah,
Americas
it
region.
being easier.
Yeah, but they play.
Where does doing anything easier get at you in life,
yeah, but
Jason?
that's not
you
a
won't-
reasonable take.
and you
that's
won't-
not a reasonable take.
and you won't have
because
the
they play
RMRs soon
90%
enough.
of the year in Europe out of boot camp facilities. They're in Europe. They play in all
Then
European
actually
tournaments.
be in Europe.
And for the major, where you can get a free fucking sticker paycheck.
Where are the best
Oh,
Counter
why
Strike
wouldn't
teams?
you?
Well, they didn't last time.
Worked
Yeah,
out
but they're-
great for them for Copenhagen.
But you're in Europe.
Yeah, so then actually
Well,
be in
this
Europe.
lineup. Let's come on now. Come on now.
Where is the best Counter Strike in the world played?
Yeah, that's my point. They're in Europe playing the best Counter-Strike. They practice in Europe.
But then why play the North American RMR?
Because you can. It's easier.
You didn't qualify. Is it easier?
Yeah.
Clearly not.
Well, this again. Okay, this team again. Am I fucking insane?
What about the last team?
He's already streaming. I can't fucking get him over.
What
here to
about
help
the
me out.
last team?
You guys are actually fucking mental.
What about the last team?
What do you? What do
They
you mean?
also fucking sucked.
Which last team?
The Rainwaker Patsy team.
Okay, come on. Are we having a serious conversation? Are we telling jokes?
I'm trying to.
They haven't had the best of lineups, Chad, I think is what Jason is getting
Also,
at.
that one competed in the European RMR as well. That wasn't in the Americas.
At least they're onto something.
Sure.
They had the right idea, just not the players for it.
Mate, this is why if you want to go the easy route, get rid of fucking Mezzi, add JKS, use Flamesy, Spinks, and JKS, and go qualify in fucking Oceania/Asia for the RMR.
Yeah, see, that's a really
Imagine Zywoo out there farming
that's
up
a
those
really
dudes.
that's a really untapped loophole.
Yeah,
That's a really untapped
but
loophole.
I think also, I think that would be kind of embarrassing for Vitality to go.
What
that
do you
route.
mean? It's just about the
you-
sticker money,
Bro,
Yanko.
you're going for like the best team in the world, and you're contending for titles, and you're gonna go and play in fucking Oceania, like not the.
Hey, you don't want to farm
Middle East.
Rooster for free stats?
They couldn't play there. They could play in the Middle Eastern one, but it's like, come on, just like play in Europe, be a man.
Why? Well,
Why?
that's what I'm saying.
Well, hey, I'm kind
You
of.
guys have lost your fucking minds.
I mean,
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why?
what? Why?
When was the last time a North
What
American
is the,
team
what
won
is
anything?
the dumbest thing?
It doesn't have to be a North American team.
What
but
is the
you have-
dumbest thing ever? Wait.
This is by the rules. Like playing in the harder zone for the major, just for 2 attempts at qualifying at the major. Playing in Europe to
Jason,
be a man.
you sound like you're
That's the
trying to live
dumbest
my.
thing in the
You sound like
world.
you're trying to live my life.
That's the
I want to
dumbest
live in
thing in the
Australia,
world.
Jason. It's the better country, but I can't. I have to live in Europe because of Counter Strike.
Okay.
Okay, well, I've embraced the fact that I have to be. I never go home. I don't see my family. Sacrifice everything, Jason. Stop. Sacrifice everything.
You'll be so much happier.
Yeah, look at me. Look how happy I am. Look how much I love my life. All right? Do it for the Counter Strike. The only thing that's ever mattered. The only thing that ever will.
No, but that's the other. Real talk. There's like an angle to there because I think Israeli players count as Middle East and Asia. So that's like a neutral fucking territory in a sense in terms of the major
I don't know how many
qualification.
times you've been to the Middle East, but I'd say it never.
It's anything but neutral.
Okay, phrasing could have been better. We'll admit that one. But you know what I mean? Like it's like a free fucking whatever territory you want to play out of for the qualifiers to qualify. To
free
the majors.
ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what replace Mezzi with JKS. We're on to something.
Wait, so your suggestion to
No, that won't solve
okay.
Vitality's problems. I'm only.
Just no, but I do think it's. I mean, I don't understand why a team like Liquid, who has that position where you have 2 North Americans, would
Jason, let the
not
dream
go
die.
North American, get an Israeli, get someone who's going to be that neutral factor.
Let it die.
I can't.
I
can't let it die.
Heavy God.
We need North
instead of
America.
Who
in
got
Counter-Strike.
him?
You have a major next year. Take what you've got.
I want more.
I want more.
Jason, the team. You're admitting that the team is faux American,
Yeah. I don't care
and
about.
I'm not talking about the Vietnamese dish.
I don't care. I don't care about. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I don't care about the team being like the standard bearer for North American Counter-Strike.
Dude, you're making up North American Counter Strike with a Brazilian.
Yeah. Dude, I've been saying this on this podcast for a while now. Fuck this whole North America versus South America thing.
How many have you had? People think you're an alcoholic, Jason.
I've had one. I've had half of one.
Half of one.
Sure.
At $19.
Sure you did.
At
That's just
$19.
General
Or 70.
esports broken brain behavior.
Yeah.
But I don't care about North America versus South America. I think that whole there's always naturally going to be some kind of rivalry, but I think the 2 scenes are both going to be stronger if we get out of the mindset that they have to be so separated. And fair play, there is a large separation in terms of distance and land.
You're the
I realize
one building
as
a
I'm saying
fucking
that,
wall.
I'm just it's true, but that's not my policy. But
He's not your president.
not at the moment, no. But I will say, I think there is some. If you combine the 2 regions, if you think about the players in the regions, you could make a fucking sick team of
North
South
American,
Americans and Brazilians.
the region was the strongest back in 2015,
When
16,
Australia,
17.
when it was literally what America was founded on, which is give me you're tired, you're sick, you're poor, you're fucking noobs, your lack of Counter-Strike scene, bring in the Aussies, bring in the fucking Brazilians, get everyone over here. If you're not European, you're American. That's when we fucking ruled the world.
And now look at you.
And now we built a wall.
Yeah. And now you got nothing.
Fuck.
Now, and here's the thing. If you would just allow the visa situation to be slightly easier and people could be here, you could very easily have the hub of the others versus Europe. And then we would all be on board because you'd have people like me.
Yeah,
you'd have
I'm
the
with you.
Mongols. You'd have fucking Tyloo and Linvision and all these motherfuckers. We'd all come and we'd all hang out.
Yeah, but Chad, here's the thing. You blame North America for this.
Well, as the rest of the world does, we normally blame the US of A for all of the world's problems.
Okay, but don't you think you should, from a Counter-Strike perspective, blame the TOs that all pulled out of North America? How are the Australians going to say we should go play in North America? How are the Brazilians going to say we should
We're
go play in
not
North
getting
America?
into fucking another business talk here. We're sticking to the
This isn't business. I'm just saying, there's now all the leagues, when Pro League was separated, when Blast had events in NA, there was value to actually play.
What about
as a team.
E-League?
You can blame them too. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they're American.
And they didn't even hang around.
Sure.
So the one org that was actually running events that was American.
Well, it wasn't the one. ESL was there. Blast was
They're
there.
not American. They're fucking
Okay,
German.
The one American org, not the one org.
Nah, listen, Jason.
Okay, here we go.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna
you're right.
blame
Yeah,
the
go.
USA
Fuck this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
For the end of time.
No, yeah, I think for Nico, he's definitely gonna become an
Just do
IGL
it now.
fully. But the question is just of timing, right?
Well, he
Like,
tilts
is it-
so much. He should just be an in-game leader.
Well, is that really a good trait?
No, it's not. But
To
it's
have as an
entertaining to
IGL.
watch him losing his mind.
Yeah, isn't it? But I also, when I talked to him about it, I also told him, like, yeah, true, on one side, as you can still, you can play on a high level, you don't really want to do it. But then imagine if you did do it, and because IGLs are usually the weakest link of the team, right? And you take a hit there in individual performance because they are so good at leading and calling and all that stuff. But if
he
you were
should-
doing how that would raise the average skill level of your team if you were the IGL.
Yeah, but
like
they'd have to get rid of all the noobs.
The team that you said would be, I think, a sick team. I don't really mind. I think the main problem with that Liquid team will be similar to what they've had now, is where now you will have Nico, Twist, and Yakindar all fucking having their own.
I think Twist is a bit of everything. I don't think that he is necessarily like always an aggressive.
No, not playing style.
Just
Just
voices.
yes. I think Yakindar probably should just try to focus as much as possible only on playing, which is difficult. Like, I mean, he is a smart guy, and sees the game and all of that stuff, but at some point there's too many voices. It's just someone has to take a back
I felt
seat.
bad for him today, though. Nuke was a good example of how they just send him in to get space, but nobody's even close enough to trade.
Yeah.
Nobody was even close enough to take the space that he got.
Even when this lineup came together and it looked like a really cool lineup that could do some cool things, it was like, get a lot of passive players on that team.
Yeah.
A lot of passive players.
Because I think Twist can do it all, but I think that the thing is normally you would have the in-game leader as the sacrificial lamb, but in a lot of the occasions it's going to be Yakinda because Cadian has the most valuable weapon. And it's like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. That team isn't going to be that roster for next season anyway.
Should we address this now? This little
Cadian
quote from the
should-
post-game interview.
Cadian should move to Australia.
Things are not meshing as they should be. Ultimately, I just want to be at a place where I'm happy and where I can be the Cadian everyone knows, playing my style and doing my things, my moves, my clutches. Whether that's here or somewhere else, time will tell. So, I mean, that's kind of
That's somewhere else.
That's like 3 or 4 sentences that kind of at the end of the day don't really say a whole lot.
I mean, you need to read a little bit between the lines. That interview was great that Banks did with him at the end, and obviously he can't come out and say, "Yeah, I'm done with this team. They removed me, it didn't work out, fuck it all." Right? So, I think it was pretty revealing that they're just not on the same page. They're not getting along really in or out of the game. Like the team is he's just not meshing with the rest of the team, and that he's on his way out. Really.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We already discussed where does he go. So unless there's like a seismic shift of other rosters, I'm not even sure where he does go or if he can go anywhere. Is Jason bothering Josh while he's playing?
I don't know what he's doing.
Could you imagine getting bothered by this guy while you're in the middle of a game? Well, he's live.
No, he's in a deathmatch.
Oh. Well, fair enough.
No, you're good. Put your headphones back on. What are you listening to? Music?
Music on there now. Just
Tryharding?
no, I was trying to like giggle a little bit, but
Cool. Yeah, this is great content.
But Jason's. I'm sorry for Jason, Josh. I'm really sorry.
I just wanted to check the score while I was out.
Yeah,
You know?
okay. Well, look. What were we talking about?
Cool.
Oh, where Caden's gonna go?
Yeah.
I don't know where he can go.
I don't know where you can go.
No.
OG.
Also, I think this kind of in a way like shows off like a negative aspect of a negative aspect of having an op IGL is when you do get to a point where you have to replace him. That's like the two most critical roles on a team.
Does he have to AWP?
I don't know.
Does he have to AWP?
I
think so.
Why?
I don't know if he's serviceable on the rifle, really.
I don't know if he's serviceable as an IGL without the op.
What do you mean?
I mean, outside of Heroic, which was a special case, like I think he hasn't really shown that he can IGL a top team. I think there's places he could go. They'd have to like drop down to a tier 2 squad, tier 3 squad.
But this
Like
is
how much faith do you have in Cadian as an IGL moving forward?
I don't know.
Like you can have like a respect for like the pedigree and the resume from Heroic as IGL and op, but do you have the confidence that he's going to be able to take a team and build it up from the ground?
Well, that's what I was saying before. Is I think they should grab players from Gaming Gladiators and Sashi or whatever, like the other Danish teams, TSM, whatever, and try and build another good Danish roster. Because I don't think that doing it international again, they're going to get the most out of it. And I also think if you think about Danish AWPers, how many of them are actually any good? There's not many.
Device.
Exactly. So you could have Cadian be the AWPer and in-game leader, and you know there's a lot of plucky, good riflers in Denmark that you could just try and fit a bunch together, and he's done it before. But it would just be having to build from the bottom up again, which is the toughest of tasks. But that's what I think would be his best bet.
I don't know if you don't really want to do that if you're Cadian, right?
You want to send him to Metasport.
No, I forgot they were Swedish as I was typing in the name, and then I remember.
You want to send a Dane to a Swedish team.
That's
Those
my
guys
bad.
hate each other.
I forgot they were Swedish. For
They
a
don't
second.
like each other at all.
I remember like seeing they did well at the Blast Showdown. It was online, to be fair, but they got all the way to the final and lost there. But
And now they've completely changed up their
I
roster.
think it's tough also because it's gonna be a hit on Cadian's reputation. I mean, why are they so vehemently trying to get rid of him, right? And if that's the case, that's why I was so surprised. Like when we kicked Guardian from the team after the Berlin major, that Navi picked him up. It's like, why are you? Because that was also them giving him the op over Simple, right? It's like, if we removed them, there were obviously
did anyone from Navi
reasons.
talk to you when they picked him up?
No.
Did someone reach out and say, "Hey, Echo, what was going on with Guardian of the team"?
No one. Not even to the players.
I think that's one aspect of like building teams that's kind of missing. I'm sure there are orgs that do it really well. I think there's a lot of orgs that pick up on name value.
To be honest, also the reason that what you're talking about, that's the reason why we didn't try to get Alexi then, because we asked around and some of the things we heard we didn't like at the time. Not necessarily
What did
nothing
you
like
ask Alu? So you're getting your information from Alu. For fuck's sake.
I mean, that was 5 years ago. It wasn't really myself that was initiating some of these conversations. It was, the players with the other players that they knew. And some of the info we got was like too similar to the problems we had before in the position. So we didn't really want to deal with that.
I mean, I get that because I know when I was coaching Liquid and Twist was leaving, one of the players that I wanted to reach out to is OC. And before I reached out to him personally, I talked to a couple other players that had played with him, and they had said like communication was an issue. So I just didn't bother reaching out. I was like, can't do anything if communication's a problem.
Well, that probably worked out for the better.
You didn't think about figuring that out for yourself. Just trusted a couple of guys.
OC is dead now, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he went to Energy.
So I think if we look at this, Liquid are going to have some spots to fill. Navi are not going to make a roster change according to Blade.
What?
Didn't he give an interview where he said that the next season will tell if they need to make roster changes?
Something like that, but I'm not sure if he was like 100%. I mean, if they don't do anything at Blast Spring, how do you give these guys more time? Like, you need to look for an upgrade.
But
Well,
know
it
what they'll
depends on their result, I think, too.
What?
You know what they'll cite as to why they wouldn't make a change?
What?
That they won the major.
Come on, man. I think he was also realistic about it too. I mean, even in that interview, he was talking about, we don't have like superstar players on that team. We got a bunch of tier 3 players.
I was saying this during the
from tier
cast.
3, tier 2 teams, and we're seeing who can evolve
hang.
into that elite player. Yeah.
I was saying this during the cast. They're like a team that doesn't have like the luxury of someone having an off game. Like there's no one to pick up slack. Like
Yeah.
you know, like if Hunter has a bad game, you have Nico and Mondesi. If Nico's having a quiet game, Mondesi can like fucking go crazy and pop off. Like it can happen.
I mean, it's for me. It's a lot of that stuff that people say is just bullshit. Like it's not about like the way I look at it isn't. You don't need to have like there's not an amount of kills that you need to have in a game where you like did well.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if you have 3 kills for a game,
You probably didn't do
you
well.
probably didn't do all that well. It's more about what happens. Like you need to watch the rounds and see what happens. See, okay, this guy
How's he play it?
had
Where's the
to
impact?
get this kill. Like he was in position to do it. He just had to get it done. It was set up for him to do it, right? Or you can see, you know, a guy be, you know, now you're in a 3v5 and they're converging on your side. You're alone and you die. You know, like there wasn't much this guy could do in this round. It's not really up to him. So in that scenario, it's like I don't think anyone really has the luxury all that much to have players like not do their job well, because like you can have, you know, Mondesi goes, gets you an entry kill, right? You're making a move, and then you know that the reaction from the team might be to just push the other side where there's no AWPer, and your anchor there is just like he didn't use his nades, or he has a guy coming
it's
not
caught
looking
off.
at him and doesn't
Right,
connect on the spray and just dies, and you lose the sight, and all of a sudden from a 5v4 you're in a like
4v4.
even in a 4v3, maybe 4v3, like retake on a B does too.
I'm
you know?
with you. I just think that most of the top teams have players who can, because those games are going to happen for players where you are set up and you're in a perfect position and you miss the kill or you forget a piece of utility, whatever it might be. But and a lot of teams have players who can recover that scenario and pick up that slack. Navi had it at the major. They had JL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and wonderful,
and wonderful,
had
yeah,
an off
wonderful.
day
And
today.
I agree, you know, obviously you're going to have players pop off right out of nowhere. You're going to have Mondesi with that 4K round where he is not supposed to
And he
get all
saves the
that,
day.
and
Right.
he saves the day, right? And that's the luxury of having superstar players, right? But you're not counting on that when you're playing games. You know, like you might even be aware that something like that might happen for you. Like when you play against Zaiwu, you know he's gonna have like some
that
1v3.
4K round he had
You know,
today.
he's,
That was
yes,
insane.
exactly. Like he's gonna have a bullshit round, and you just need to accept that and like count it in the fucking game plan, probably, right? And deal with it.
And hope
But-
it doesn't happen at the worst moment.
yeah. So yeah, I think what you're saying is Navi doesn't have that caliber of players that if people go missing will bail them out in rounds, but that's the most frustrating thing from. And then that guy is like top fragging because you know maybe he got 6 anti-eco kills so far in the game,
Couple
right?
of
And you're
exits.
looking at stats, and it's actually, but he's actually like not doing a great job.
Yeah, no, that is the thing where like the numbers say. Well, I guess that's when you can use finer stats to look at details, but that's why obviously there's some kills which are worth a lot more than others.
And I'm
That's just the way
hoping
Counter-Strike goes.
I'm hoping there's some fucking madness this off season.
Yeah, me too. I need it to be
I want
full
a fucking.
mental.
I want bloodbath. I want a fucking. I want tectonic shifts.
Who are your
Chad.
top 3 teams that you want to have a tectonic shift?
The
G2.
The 4 teams that I mentioned before are the only teams that I think don't need to make roster changes.
Okay.
So he's having fun. Mouse, FaZe, Astralis, Spirit. Those are the only 4 teams I think can stay as they
Yeah.
are. I think like
they don't need anything.
VP could stay as they are. I think just need more time.
Yeah.
I think G2 has to. They have to upgrade. On
Hunter had
Nexa.
some decent rounds this event.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Hunter. I think
Enough?
he's a.
Did he do enough?
Probably not.
But you don't know. You know. I think they needed their problem in game is in situations sometimes is like just not getting the frags on CT side from like Nexa and Hunter, not having like the fragging output in certain situations, and then on T side is just not having enough space takers on the team, right? Like if you're not, if it's not Anubis and Mondesi has a good spawn, decides to run up, you know, dark with the op or something like that. It's all down to Hooksy to do YOLO stuff and maybe Nico here and there to be aggressive, right? So you need a more aggressive lurker on T side, right? To put pressure, and someone who's just like mechanically better than Nexa. Unfortunately, you know, I think it's.
What about the vibes?
It shows more often. Fuck the vibes. The vibes are the best when you're fucking winning, man. Everyone's
So,
happy when you're winning.
Let's list all these teams first, and then maybe we can see what would complement each other. So Liquid, they're definitely having changes. G2 should make changes.
I'm gonna bring up the.
Yeah, do that.
Vitality.
I think Vitality should do one change.
I think Vitality should do a change only if they can get the right
piece.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's available.
Yeah. But I don't know how many right pieces there are for them because it's somebody who needs to join the team and play an anchor role, but also be vocal.
Complexity has hit a ceiling, clearly.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see what happens with the whole Halzoak news and how that's going to trend. It's such a shit way that they've left that, and I didn't even bother talking about it because of how poorly they put it out there publicly, right? About the Orping position is filled, but
it's only done poorly if they don't re-sign him, which is why I'm just.
But then,
my
then
brain,
that's what's
I'm
the
like,
point? Then why didn't they just say they re-signed him?
I don't know. Maybe the
Because
paperwork's
they
not
probably
actually
didn't
signed.
fully finish
yeah,
it.
the ink's not dry.
Well, now you should change something.
The ink's not dry.
Is it Halzork that you changed though?
Well, I think there's probably a couple changes that you could make, but it obviously depends on who you get. Navi should make changes,
Yeah.
so there's 5. You think VP should?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think I would like for them to have some time to just practice first.
Yeah, I think they're okay. I know that their result today didn't reflect it. But Falcons should.
Yeah, they definitely should.
But the problem is, do these teams just rearrange their players?
should.
Shuffle between them,
Yes, they
or do you bring players from the outside?
Well, how many names from the outside do you think could work in teams like this? Like, I think Heroic won't because they just added Dexter, but I think Heroic could be in the conversation, but they won't be because they added Dexter.
I mean, I think there's got to be some promising tier 2 or FPL players that you could bring into a team. I think at this point at the start of CS:GO, I think you go for new players.
But but this is why the rearranging thing, I think that Yanko's saying, because for example, Falcons have a lot of experienced players who are a good piece.
They could be a good piece to
finish
another
a
team,
team,
yeah.
right? Like Magisk should just go back to Vitality. like really, like,
That'd be funny as fuck.
That would be great.
That'd be so next level. See us on it.
That would be good.
Great.
But then at the same time, like Falcons need 2 players, I think, to be their. I know 3 is what we would say is a core, but they need 2 players, and then they need to build around those 2 with more firepower. So they're the type of team who need to be able to adopt firepower. But what rosters could you be taking any firepower from? I don't know. Right? Like that's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think Nerds is like available for people.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's why if Heroic was in the conversation, like Nerds and Kixon are 2 really good pieces. Shush as well are an anchor for a team.
Probably another roster with Dexter in the lineup. That, I
love it.
That you don't change.
Like, well,
Right, like another team that doesn't make a roster change is Heroic right now with Dexter.
Yeah, exactly. But then outside of that, I don't know. There's a lot of reshuffling you could
Fury
do.
is certainly getting rid of Kai at this point, right?
Yeah, you don't want him. I feel like, what if you took like Magnajaz from BetBoom?
Yeah, I don't know how good his English is.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like
I haven't seen enough of him to really be able to rate him.
He plays with Donk.
That's what. That was why I
Donk.
picked him on my. What was it? At Pro League, the fantasy.
Let
team.
him go. He plays with Donk. He's all right.
Scroll a bit more down, Jason. It's really dry out there.
Yeah, then you get towards the end and it's
How
like,
about
what's the
Malps?
point? M80, no players are available.
Oh,
Having spoken to some NA teams, M80 is not at all willing to wheel and deal.
reasonable, of course.
Happy with their lineup.
Well, Ents just made changes. They brought in Poddy from the academy team on the AWP, and they brought in SDY, so he's off the market now.
Hades is out there available.
Yeah, but I think that
There's a reason for that.
he would have to go to a
Think
team.
so? I think he's pretty fucking good.
I think he's too streaky. His problem is
Yeah.
consistency. I think he has his moments, but I think his problem is consistency, and that's probably why they got rid of him as well.
Probably I guess it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
For that, that's how it looks like. And I don't know if if I was saying this like when I did the CCT thing on the desk, or I was talking about it on the podcast. But I was like, if you're Ants, who do you try? Who do you think has the ceiling on that team out of all those players? And I said, actually, you might just want to keep Goofy and Kylar with Glaive, right? Because sure, Dika and Hades are the 2 big names, but I don't really trust them when it comes to like some of these big games. Dika is constantly whining about some shit. It's like that's why he's not performing. I think he's just fucking choking in big games, bro. Like that was the case in Ents as well. He would just go missing, and that's why they were second and not first at a couple of tournaments. So he needs to figure that out. And kind of, I think, probably look himself in the mirror more than just sort of listing these different things from the outside that are
there's
affecting
different
it.
obstacles that he's.
And
that
for
he's
Hades, I don't
What
know.
about Hades to FlyQuest?
Yeah, that would
Sure.
be. I
I
think.
don't think he ever would.
No, but it would be a big downgrade for him.
Yeah.
But
I
Jason,
don't
you
think
think
so.
that everybody should play in the easiest region for the majors. So I think it would probably be pretty good for
I don't think
Hades.
it would be a big
He
down.
gets some sticker money. He gets some fucking sticker money.
I don't
baby.
think it would be a big downgrade for him.
No?
Get both of them instead of fucking Liaz and
Huh?
Alistair.
I think that's somewhere.
fucking Australian Polish mix
They're like everybody's favorite.
playing for an American organization.
Everyone's favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I think I am with you though, Yanko. I hope that there are a lot of changes. I hope that it's crazy again. But it will be a short runway into the major though.
But
That's the problem.
you know, also for
Short
G2
runway.
at this point, it's not even like just about Nico. It's more about Monesi. Give Monesi a fucking good team.
Yes, yeah, no, I agree.
Because he is playing insane.
Did you see that Cloud9 tweet today?
Which one?
was
put
it
out-
from Cloud9 though, or was it from like Cloud9 CS, which I'm not sure
I'm
if
not
it's
sure.
a Cloud9
Dinko showed me
page.
on his phone, so I didn't actually
Had
see
like
it.
Heavy God cut out, a Monacy cut out,
yeah.
and someone else.
That was the one you think. It wasn't the official C9.
Yeah.
It was the
Okay.
guy who's like,
the C9 CSGO fan
yeah,
account or whatever.
analysis,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
stuff.
but I don't think like this is the thing. G2 would be giving away their biggest asset. You would have to be paying like
They should
paying
be on their
something
knees
astronomical.
in front of Modesty right now saying, we will build a team around you.
I hope they pay him properly. That's what I want. I would assume he's not.
It's got to be now. He's been well off his rookie contract at this point, right?
I don't think so.
You think he's been on his rookie contract this whole time?
No.
There's no way.
No.
No.
He seems confident in that.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
If I
you
was
think
him,
he would be also playing on a fucking salary of a rookie contract while being what was he last year? 2, 3, 4?
I don't know. I know that
In the world,
he was
you know.
the second lowest paid member of the team once upon a time.
Well, probably when he just joined, and that's
Yeah, that was the rookie contract.
that's also normal,
Well, not that long ago. If he should get paid more than Nico and Hunter.
No.
Definitely. He's the best player.
Well,
on the team.
Hunter, yes. Nico, no.
I'm with Chad on that one.
He doesn't get paid more than Hunter or Nico.
Who's more marketable?
Monacy. The other two
I
are
don't think
old.
so.
Get him out.
I don't think he has like a bigger following. I don't think he has a bigger following than Nico.
No, he doesn't. Nico is the most, but
Modesty has
is
more future potential.
and the best player on the team.
Yeah. And one of the top 3 players in the world.
Yeah, but you're not paying him a salary for future potential. You're paying him like, okay, obviously you want to pay him.
Okay, that's
well.
a little
I mean,
naive.
if you're
That's a little naive.
No, listen. If you're an orc, you're paying him the least you can that he's
course.
happy with.
Yes.
Right? I
But
mean,
he should.
Oh, sure.
We're saying, but I'm saying what he should ask for, and
Because
he should ask
also-
for more than everybody on the team,
he should probably, yeah.
or he should go somewhere else.
Well, it's not only about the money.
Well,
is
also,
it?
he's got the leverage.
Well, he's
now.
not part of a winning roster, is he?
He's got the leverage now too.
He's
'cause his
part of a
contract
roster that
ends.
isn't even building around him. They fucking sabotaged him. They took out a player that was actually good in the anchor role, and they put in a guy who isn't. They took out a guy who they were winning trophies with for a guy that they're not.
That's probably one of the weirdest roster changes. That's like
I know. Like
that's
it gets worse in hindsight.
who makes a roster change and downgrades? Like, I have no idea what
I don't
happened
even
there, man.
Yeah.
And it's not even justifiable in the sense of going, oh, we need someone in that position to talk more. The player in that position needs to frag above everything else. And that's exactly what he did. And if you're saying that you needed more voices in that team, you must be smoking some good shit that I want to get my hands on. Because you have Monacy calling his shots, you have Hooksy as the in-game leader, you have Nico who wants to play his way, and then you have Hunter doing his lurks. You didn't need Justin to do or say anything. He just needed to sit there and get 2 kills when he came to his bomb site. And that's exactly what he did.
We said it when it happened. At best, that's a lateral move. At best.
Well, it
and,
hasn't-
it's
And it
not.
wasn't.
And it's not the best.
It
Went down a
wasn't.
fucking fireman
It's
pole.
not the fucking best.
But they keep making playoffs. And they made playoffs with Stewie. So,
Yeah,
fuck
but that
everything
doesn't.
we know about
No,
Counter-Strike.
that
No,
doesn't.
but like-
that doesn't matter, Chad. Like,
What do you
doesn't-
mean, Yanko? This entire event, all of the teams with stand-ins, and the Counter-Strike is shit. All
I know,
the
but
teams
we
suck.
talked about
Everybody
this.
sucks.
No, I don't think
Everyone's
it's that.
bad.
I don't think it's that. I think it's the opposite. I think everyone's good.
What?
Yeah, and that's the reason why you can plug and play easier, because everyone can, even Stewie, who hasn't played a tier online in 2 years or whatever it was that you or someone tweeted out, was able to sort of get adjusted and have some good rounds and have some, impact for G2, and G2 with him was able to make the playoffs
Insane, isn't it?
because they
I'll
have
leave the
also
world with
Monacy on their
I lean
fucking team
closer to
and
Yanko on this
Nico.
one.
You think everybody's good?
Yeah, the average player today is much better than he was 5 years ago, and is capable of doing way more things.
But then why do we
and
think
knows-
everybody needs to make a roster change?
Well, because they could be better. The teams could be better.
Because it's the X factor of a team competition and a team sport. Is like no matter how good you are in the game, a lot of it depends on your communication, your synergy as a human being and as a player. It's not just about being able to shoot the shots inside the game. You know it very much as well. Like when you're in the game and like there's some fucking something bad affecting you, some mental situation, some atmosphere within the team, it's gonna make you or your teammates play worse.
I think you're also underestimating, Chad, like how much the killing part comes from. How much of the killing comes from having good information, being in good positions in rounds, and you get there through gathering information and predicting what's going to happen. Most of the frags come, like in Tier 1 Counter-Strike, from anticipation rather than just, oh, I'm running here, I have no idea what's waiting for me, and I'm just supposed to, with my aim, kind of compensate for that.
So we think Liquid's a good team.
That's a big leap.
Yeah, that is.
But I'm just trying to get, because we're praising G2 for making it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Does
but
that
they
mean-
beat Mouse, Chad, before they beat Liquid.
True, but then they beat Liquid to qualify,
Okay.
and only just.
Okay.
So are Liquid a good team?
They're a team that has good players.
A 9-0
Pretty
good
fucking
team?
good. They're-
A 9-0 a good team?
Yes.
Then why would they power
I
rank
don't know.
last for the event?
I'm not. Well,
Well, when I say this is the thing, like Liquid is not a good team, but it's a team that has good players on it. And because
But
of
a
that,
9-0 a good team or a team that has good players on it?
they're a good team that has not as good players on it, but they're playing better as a team.
they're having a good event.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
This is their Copenhagen, and they're Arnavi, Chad. Deal with
They
it.
could be a good team. Maybe 2 events from now we're like,
Maybe
oh,
they're
shit,
the best team in the
9Z
world, Chad, and we
has
just
some
don't know
things.
it.
What about this? What if this event is in a period of time where nothing matters?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's fucking all nihilistic.
Yes. Actually, what
No,
if
but
nothing
really.
actually does matter because we're just this tiny little speck in space, and one day we'll all turn
tiny
to
blue
dust,
dot.
and you
Shout
and
out Carl
everyone you
Sagan.
know and everyone that has ever known your name will
Well,
be
the
gone
number
one
one,
day.
No, but
the
I
number
think-
one ranked team, the
think-
number one ranked team in the world didn't even bother practicing for this
I
event.
think when you have a team, when you have a team like Liquid, who's got like that kind of caliber of players who've played at that level for so long, like you can get away with some shit. When the team
But
is
they were dead
dysfunctional,
coming into
Twist
this
had a
event.
fucking 100 kills on that map against who? Who did they play?
I don't know. I don't remember 100 kills anywhere.
No,
On
it was
Ancient,
it was on their
against
B
Falcons.
stream.
Against Falcons.
40 kills, right?
That's how they got to the point
Round
to
it
even
out.
play G2 is because fucking Twist and Af have been playing insane in general in this
Twist
team.
actually had a really good event. I gotta feel bad for him a little bit.
Who?
Twist.
You feel bad for him?
I don't feel bad for him in general. Just he had a really good event. So I feel bad that he had a really good event. He had a lot of important. His game against G2 today, he had some good maps and good rounds.
Yeah.
The 40 kill game against Falcons, I think he's been putting in a lot of work, and the results not there to show.
Yeah, but
for
the
it.
team was dead coming into the
But I
event.
think you know what
Yeah, but like,
what annoys me.
how many
Chad,
times have we seen a dead
is
team over the years
the
do
re-
well?
the
No, but
reason-
guys,
Chad's
guys.
broken Here we go.
Heroic came into this event with the stand. We did this at the top of the shot. I feel like I have to do it again for you guys. Heroic came into this event with a player that is on the bench for their team because they replaced him with a better AWPer because Nikodos can't hit any AWP shots and they upgraded him. Okay. So they came into that. G2 came in with Stewie 2K, who the players didn't even pick to be on the team. That was the management, and he hasn't played professional games of Counter-Strike in 2 years. You have Liquid who came into the event, who are already a dead team, who are already getting rid of KDN, and came in and still managed to make it all the way to the lower bracket semi-final, potentially qualifying for the event. The number one team in the world didn't practice for the event and got eliminated by the team with the stand-in of a guy who hasn't played top-tier Counter-Strike in the better part of 2 years.
Hey, Chad, can
Yeah.
I tell you something?
Yeah.
This is a product of the kind of scene that you advocate for all the time. Events nonstop. No breaks.
Yeah,
Schedule
bitch.
crazy.
You're
your fault.
you're blaming my scene for your country not giving a visa to somebody.
Who didn't they give a visa to?
Dexter.
Yeah, he had like a fucking 7-day lead time. What the fuck do you want?
I want some urgency. I want some other fucking
Even
urgency,
Yanko needs
Jason.
more than a
I don't
7-day
know.
fucking lead time.
If it was Serbia, he would have been getting in. I'm telling you that much.
Yeah.
He would have been in Germany. That would have been fine.
Dude, he couldn't. He probably wouldn't have been able to get into Australia.
Hooksy didn't care about the event. He went to his fucking
tell me
sister's
honestly,
wedding.
Would Dexter have gotten an Australian visa in
way in
7
the
days?
Not a fucking chance. He wouldn't have probably got a visa in a month's time. What are you talking about? You fucking crazy, Jay.
I think another. I also think Spirit being as good as they are on a team basis is a fucking indictment on some of these other teams, like G2, for example, because what's preventing you from rising your floor by just playing better team CS, like things being a little bit more thought out, in
I
a
see
way.
what you're saying.
Because I think one of the problems in the meta, even for the last couple of years maybe, has been the fact that all these teams do so much anti-stratting that sometimes you forget, and I think Astralis is good at that as well, at having like a good floor and like building their game, that you forget, like you focus so much on that and constantly like making these little adjustments to things because you're anti-stratting that you like completely get lost. Like you have no real system. You're just, okay, you have these defaults and these things and blah, 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 but a lot of it is based off of
What we're doing in this match
yes,
to
and a
counter
little
this,
bit, and
or-
a little bit random, and on whether how much initiative is a player going to take in certain rounds, right?
It's just hard to replicate. from
Instead
game
of
to
just
game.
making things a little bit more set. Like even in your, like I think that was something that Snappy was talking about when we did the podcast with him, where he said is like,
Oh, the thing that you had to do with Ents, right?
yeah, but
Yes,
he was
yes.
saying like it's not super. It's just I call like we do our default, but we have 4 different smokes that we throw, and then out of that we have 4
finisher.
different things we
Yeah.
do in the second phase and 4 different finishers. So I might call this opening with this mid round and this ending. Then I might call the same opening but with a different mid round. And maybe the same ending, and combining it like that
Yeah.
it looks different and it's not easy to read, but it's
Well-
easier for the players to have it. And I think that's actually the way to
For
play.
international CS, I think
The
so,
way to
yeah.
play is that, like, you have your couple sets, like, a couple of smoke combinations on nuke for yard that
Your
you want
5
to
openings, your 8 mid rounds, your fucking 9
do. Something like
finisher,
that.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like 100%
rigid, yeah,
set.
yeah.
Like within that structure, players have room to improvise, right?
Yeah.
But everyone knows what we're doing, and then as you're going through that, what are the possible improvisations for your players, and then you're also kind of a little bit more ready mentally for that as well. Like if you're doing something on yard and smoke, and Eco says, wait, I actually want to walk through this smoke, I think I heard the guy, I want to do
You
good
can adjust,
timing,
yeah.
and you do that, you let him do that, then the guy, Nexa should be expecting a little bit better, like, okay, this changes the round in this way. If he does find that kill, how is that going to open up the map? And where should I position myself to be effective, right? And I think that's the problem. All of these teams, they don't have that. And when that improvisation happens, it looks super disconnected in rounds and disjointed. And what are they doing? Because it's not something that they've actually have in their game. They're just doing it on the fly.
It feels like one of those things that's going to be like the next evolution of Counter-Strike over the next 5 years is like, I know teams have like really detailed game plans and anti-strats and setups and protocols and everything, but it's that makes me think of like, how like the Astralis era like really upped the game of Counter-Strike across the board. I think it's going to take a team implementing a system like that to like get the rest of the community and the rest of the pro scene to be like, this is the direction we kind of need to hold.
Yeah,
This is-
but,
this
well,
is where we
but
need
it's
to
not
head.
working for Snappy right now and the type of team he has.
No, but he
is
doesn't
it,
have the
right?
players to do something like that.
No, well, that's the thing.
You have the brain power. You don't have the
Yeah,
fragging power.
yeah.
I think they're also, bro, they're losing. They're doing dumb shit. Like, I mean, the clutches
that
that they
would
lost
be-
against G2.
No,
how do these players lose
Even
these rounds?
Nexo is looking around like,
Yeah, what? How the fuck?
how did I win that?
That clutch they lost to Nexa was embarrassing.
A 1v4 to Nexa.
Yeah.
And that's
And
not
flashing
and that's not
themselves.
an indictment on Nexa. That
He's very good in clutches.
but
to be fair.
they team flashed.
Yeah.
It's like just unnecessary shit, stuff that didn't need to happen. Like just the way they played those rounds, it doesn't make any sense. It's hard to explain away from any.
Even that in the Dupree round against Monacy, they told him he has no kit. He
but he
he
still
got the
peaked.
info that there's no kit.
The
and still
one-tap
picked-
clutch?
Still picked him instantly.
Yeah, so
It's like
especially
crazy.
and from a player like
and I
Dupree,
think
that's insane.
and I think if you watch Spirit, they have that. Like if you watch their Ancient, right? Like they have a couple of ways that they want to fight from it or not fight it fast, delayed. Couple of ways that they get into, banana control or like highway control and all that. They set up against aggression, and you don't know. Sometimes they throw like the same smoke combination to open up the round and they're coming mid. Sometimes they don't, and they just bait out your utility and they're waiting for your react. And that's why it's like, and they also have these stages. So, okay, you're doing that. Now the other team is trying to adjust to that, and you're already sort of expecting that. They have the answers, right? For whatever a team does, they have the answers because they're one of the fucking very few teams that it actually doesn't matter if they lose the pistol. Like I think they're probably, if you looked up the stats, a team that has the highest percentage of winning the first gun round without winning the pistol and converting. Because we see teams, 2-0, then 4-0, and then they get rolling a little
Is there
bit.
anywhere you can track that stat?
You'd have to do it manually, I guess.
Yeah, I think you have to do it manually. But, with them, it's like, it doesn't really matter. Even in the game against FaZe, they were losing 4-0, 5-0, still came back on like 5-6 rounds in a row. Like, they will always, they're so good at it.
I tested the group stage, says that Spirit's the best team in this tournament.
I wish Astralis was here. That's the only other good team I think that's missing.
Yeah,
from
that
this
would be
event,
cool.
right? If Astralis was here, but they're not here. So,
I think with Astralis, we've seen that
Are they
apparently
at spring finals?
yes.
that Mirage is probably their worst map out of the maps in the pool, and we now have to see with Dust 2, so that might be something
Dust
that
2, they played some Dust 2s during
They got
CCT.
smashed
they
by
beat Big,
Liquid.
but they got smashed by
Right,
Liquid.
yeah.
And Mirage, they lost to fucking not Amcal, some other CIS team, to Aurora. They lost a map to.
If Astralis lost to Amcal, I'd put them in the roster change.
No, they lost a map to Aurora on Mirage, and they beat Bet Boom on it, but in like double OT or triple OT.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And for them, it's the same thing for Mouse, just also have to do it on the big stage, which is not really so much for, guys like Device or Stone, but maybe some of the other players really. But yeah, that's why those teams are really solid. And I know the G2 plays a little bit differently because they have the individuals and you give them a little bit more freedom. And then there's these momentum calls coming in from Hooksy, and they're really good at playing from ahead. But some upgrades.
I'm just having a look. There's Yellow Compass, which is the event directly after this, starting on the 5th of June. Astralis Complexity.
Is that online or
it's
LAN?
LAN. That's in
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah. Heroics there. Mongols are there. There's the Mongolian
Mongols.
events on at the moment.
That's pretty decent.
And then
tournament.
after that is the Blast Spring Finals, which is FaZe, Vitality, Navi, G2, Spirit, Astralis, VP, and Saw. And then on adjacent with that is Jönköping, which has Falcons, Complexity, MIBR, Mongols again, ENTS. That should be a good event. If Mongols would go into that as one of my favorites to win that.
Yeah.
Party Astronauts Alliance, so Aurora's in there as well. So yeah, there's still a few more events dotted across the remainder of the season to keep things interesting. I think maybe it's a good thing that not all of the events not all the teams are at the same event, because then hopefully we get more of those climaxes come Cologne, for example, or maybe we get them come the major for the end of the year.
I think Cologne will be huge. Cologne will have everyone.
Yeah, Cologne's going to be
And
awesome.
it will be far enough after the player break that even if we see these roster changes, there will be groups and there will be the Saudi Arabia
EWC,
one.
yeah.
So teams will also get reps. So, yeah, I think Cologne is going to be huge this year.
Yeah, so what do we need? Like teams to come back a week, probably 2 weeks, 2 weeks before, because EWC. I think the thing is that these teams don't realize, and when I say teams, I mean the players, how important that event is to their orgs based off of like the World Cup element of that, of how well they do over all the games and how much money they could possibly
Yeah, but I'm
make.
glad about that.
That the teams don't know that.
The players don't know that.
Yeah. Well,
Why?
Why should you care?
They're paying you.
Yeah, but they're just there to win Counter-Strike,
Yeah.
which is
But, I mean,
aligned with the goal of the org. You don't need to
Yeah.
be like super fucking aware or concerned about
Yeah,
it.
but I
but
think-
it might
people
affect
don't
how
take it
early they
seriously
come back
enough.
from. Yeah, that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So in terms of the scheduling leading up to the event,
But this is the thing, because if I was the boss of one of these teams,
you'd be saying you're coming back like 10 days. Your
earlier,
player break is
right.
cut.
We need you
Yeah.
to play well at this event.
Yeah.
Right. But especially
I
if
gotcha.
you're strong in a lot of other games.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what you do then. Just tell them, okay, because Cologne is around the corner, so they can't get time out. Then you just tell them, well, listen, we don't care what you do at Blast.
Well, yeah, which is the case anyway.
But they still have to go there.
Yeah.
That event is excruciatingly long for the amount of games that you play.
Yeah, but they get the rev share split of that I got sent is fucking insane. Like the money they get just for playing in those things is fucking so crazy.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter how they do that, because then they can go to Showdown anyway and try and qualify that.
Sorry, Chad. How many days left until player
200 and something.
my man?
Yeah, we're getting close.
Getting there.
215 or so. I don't know. I'm guessing now, but it can't be more
We
than
didn't
that.
nail
start a
any of
countdown
these
website.
changes, man.
We're not going to.
We're not going to?
No, we can't. We're not going to solve any problems. We never do.
We never do.
We just talk about 'em.
We just complain.
Yeah.
And bitch and moan.
Yeah, that's all we do. That's all we do around here. It's just fucking talk
It's beautiful,
endlessly
I think.
until the fucking cows come home.
How's Bleed doing?
They beat
playing at 11 p.m.
Who they played? Was it
They beat some...
the Chinggis Warriors or something?
yeah, Chinggis Warriors.
Yeah.
It's Zilkenberg was on that team.
yeah.
He's playing.
Yeah. And now they're playing against
No Machine
Annihilation.
Gun Kelly though. Yeah, in Atox. That should be an interesting one. I queued the other day and faced it against Score.
Oh,
Full Mongolian stack.
got destroyed.
Yeah, Harry botted out hard.
I remember I was on TeamSpeak after this game.
Hey, Justin and Aaron also botted out. I was the only one fragging. So,
Rolling back the years.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Cologne all over again.
yeah. Well, yeah. Fucking hell. That'll be a decade next year.
What do you need to celebrate?
Maybe.
Surely we can throw a Titan party. Of some kind,
Maybe
yeah.
quit. You know, can't be too far off there. We're getting close to it. We're not far off now. John.
Nah.
How long have you been going for?
One hour so far.
I've been
20 years for Chad.
He
Or I
does
should
look
say, I
like
guess
it.
35 years at this point.
He does look like it.
I need a beard trim. I was gonna go tomorrow.
You're having a glow up after Dallas, you said.
I'm doing a factory reset.
Good
But
for
I was
you.
just gonna go get a beard trim because I look like Santa Claus at the moment with how bushy it is. But
You don't look like Santa Claus.
no, it's not.
Not enough
Yeah,
gray
Santa
in that
Claus looks
beard.
better.
You look homeless. You look like
No, he's right.
what was the guy from Cologne? Jeans man.
Jean shoulders?
Jean shoulders.
Yeah,
You look like Jean
it's
shoulders.
a man in Cologne, a homeless man who we'd always see, and the thing is, he must have been
Give him a
so out of
beer,
his mind on
give him
drugs
some
because
euros.
sometimes, and I'm not trying to paint myself as a saint or anything, but I gave him some money and a sizable amount of money one day, and then the next day he came back and asked me for money again, and I was like, dude, I just gave you like 50 euros, which I think is
It's
quite
a pretty legit donation.
yeah, to a homeless person.
Yeah.
He came back again, so he must have been that off his tits. He didn't even realize he was asking the same guy the next day for money.
I probably used your 50 euros
To get some math.
And that's probably why. Well, I don't know what type of drugs he was doing, but he was so cold. Sometimes he was wearing jeans on his shoulders, so that's why I called him jean
Oh,
shoulders.
this got depressing.
Yeah, but he's yeah.
Just a beacon of fucking ain't I supposed to be the fucking grumpy one? You know?
I'm not grumpy. I'm just
You were grumpy today, and it came out on the broadcast. You motherfucker.
Like no one cares what you guys have to say.
Yeah. Fred
Yeah,
goes,
I knew it.
Dicko, Moses, what do you guys have to say? Yanko goes, nobody cares.
It's a classic.
I
That's
hear my
a
headphones. I'm like, what the fuck?
that's a 1K classic. Oh my god, bro! I was like, I don't know. I just woke up. I wasn't feeling so well, so I was a little bit out of it. So I was a little bit slow to start off the day, and then Freya gave me this like pink cowboy hat at the start of the show. You know.
No, I seen it.
So I'm like trying to put it on. Realize I had the headphones on. So then I like take the headphones on so I can put it properly and then put the headphones over it, which obviously
Naturally.
isn't going to work. So I was fiddling around with it, you know, and Freya was holding my cough button, right? So my mic
you
is
were
on, so you
live
don't
during
hear
all
the,
of it.
Oh, yeah.
so you don't hear
Yeah,
the,
there's a segment. There's a bit.
you know, all,
what are you doing
all
this
of-
live for?
all of this. I don't know. That she just came out with it as a surprise, as a bit, and I was just going with it, you know, because I have no problem wearing a pink cowboy hat. And then I wanted to say, and because she made a joke, like I can just, you know, keep you muted. Like she said something along those lines, and I wanted to say like something like, you know, there's no way you can hold like, you know, you can stay like that for the whole segment, right? But I said,
Hold my Michelob
I said like something like you you wish you could hold your finger on one spot for that long.
Fuck's sake.
Which just sounded like I was trying to
Yep,
make some
it
weird
sure does.
some weird fucking joke.
Well,
with-
you have to.
so I just started panicking inside and like sweating, you know, like there's oh my god. But luckily no one watches that shit.
Dude, Freya loves those jokes. She did that during Pro League to me, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, we were doing like one of those game shows.
You're taking on the cocks.
Yeah. And then she was like, "There's 4 golden cocks here." It was like the one where Maniac and I had to like pick the same thing. And she's like, "If you guys both pick different things, then I get all the cocks." And I'm like, "Where am I supposed to take this? Like, there's no good routes. There's only one thing in my head right now. Like, what the fuck, Freya?" So obviously, I went there.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. Oh, god damn.
You guys got what are you doing tomorrow?
I have to record a
Media.
skit.
I've got a skit. We
I
have
have to do
a
one
skit.
XBet. I got a
I'm not doing
HLTV
1xBet.
confirmed live.
That's fun.
I want to do Korean barbecue tomorrow night.
Oh yeah,
The
let's do
proper
that.
Korean barbecue.
Let's do it. Choreo.
Are you into that?
How can I do that?
What time is HLC?
I don't get any time off ever, Jason, and you wonder why I hate my life.
Yeah, but you want me to have sympathy for you?
No, I
You're
don't.
like, okay.
I don't want. I don't want any sympathy. I just telling you why it is
Okay.
the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no downtime.
What games
ever.
are you on for the playoffs?
The first quarter and the second semi.
Yeah, so on Friday you have time.
Yeah, but he won't.
Hey, well, the second game starts at like 4 p.m., 4:15 is its schedule. Like, we can go for dinner at
We're in
8.
Dallas. It's earlier here.
Yeah. Spring break, bro. You forgot.
Yeah, because I've
League
been
offs,
working.
having a great
The
time.
games have gone to 11. Yesterday,
Yeah,
I did.
you guys have gotten
for
wrecked
some
this
reason, this never happens. That they did 2 back-to-back, 2 best of 3 days in a row. Normally, it doesn't happen like that.
No, but that's because on the first day there's 2 best of 3s and 4 best of 1s.
Yeah, but I'm normally the guy who does the 4 best of 1s, and then the next day you do the 2 best of 3s.
Yeah, but not this time, Chad. You aren't.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fucking deal with it, bitch. Imagine if you had to do all 3 games in one day like the analysts do.
Why do you think I left?
Yeah.
So, Chad, I told Yanko this. I was like, what ESL should do in moving forward at events
And I
like this-
disagreed, Chad.
He disagreed. But I was like, why doesn't ESL just come to Chad and I and say, hey, one day in the group stage, Chad, do a game on the desk.
Do we get half of his day rate for that, or like what are we talking
Maybe
about?
they give us some extra money.
We get half of
We can have that
this
conversation.
right here.
But why wouldn't they come to us and just be like, instead of making these guys do 3 games a day, are you guys
You
cool
want to
if
work?
you do?
You want to work more?
I wouldn't mind.
Well, why don't you just do it then? Why are we talking about? Why am I in the conversation?
Okay, I thought we would. Thought it was a team effort on the podcast.
No, but I said
I was
disagree
just
because
saying I
that's
don't
not,
get any time off.
because the point isn't like for you guys to do more work. For us, it's just to hire one more person so that we could also have the shifts like you guys do.
Well, the fact that hosts get shifts
Yeah, that's a pretty big step.
isn't that
Exactly.
something?
Yeah, when we started getting 2 hosts, I was like, damn, we're making it.
And that's why the
getting
interviewer
there.
is like the shittiest job.
Yeah, because the interviewer
Because-
has to do every game
Because you're there the whole fucking day, man.
the whole time.
Every day, the whole day, the whole tournament.
But I think the thing is as well, I was saying before, you watch every game anyway. It just is where you're watching it from. And a sterile green room, that's not the place.
it's not.
Those lights, those
No,
lights are so
no.
bright.
No air, no natural
Plenty
sunlight.
of mosquitoes.
I actually sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Why are there so many mosquitoes here?
It's humid.
It's humid right now.
No, the bigger the the higher the
The more
humidity.
moisture in water, mosquitoes breed in water.
Moisture, yes, not humidity.
God damn.
Well, yeah.
Phase G2 in the playoffs.
Should we just run through this playoff bracket quickly? We're at about an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't want to talk about G2 anymore.
Okay, so FaZe is going to win that.
They're so fucking
G2's
good, man.
eliminated in the quarterfinals.
No, G2 are going the
What
whole
about FaZe
way.
9Z? You gonna-
G2 are going the whole way. G2 are going to beat FaZe.
They're going to beat 9Z?
Well, of course they're going to beat 9Z.
And then they're
You
going to
sure?
lose to
9Z's a
Spirit.
good team.
Oh my God, you guys have lost the plot. I can't believe the type of conversations we're having anymore.
They took down Zaiwu.
Oh, fuck all of
They
you.
took down the Wu.
Oh, and you guys tell me this event matters. Okay, so G2 are
Of course
gonna,
it matters. We're going to get FaZe Spirit in the final.
G2 are going to beat FaZe.
Nah.
Okay, G2 are going to beat FaZe. Nah. Why not? They beat Mouse, the number 1 ranked team in the world. G2 are going to beat FaZe.
I just want you to know you can say whatever you want. I'm not taking any of it seriously right now.
Okay, good, because no one should.
Okay.
Like right now,
Go on. G2's going to be FaZe.
I'm not giving my actual opinion about anything ever again.
Yeah.
Why not, you bitch?
I'm always.
This is the beauty of our job, though, is we don't have to always give like the serious, perfect opinion. We can just give our opinion on what has happened. Have fun with it.
Well, you can't have fun with it.
Why not?
People don't let you have fun.
What do you
Fuck
mean?
the people. You can do whatever the fuck
Who's
you
not
want.
letting you have fun?
People make threads. They write
Oh, boo fucking who?
Spunj come
How the fuck do you know?
because I see the threads.
Sounds like a fucking. Not going to go there.
Well, normally it's Spunj come here.
Ah, sure.
That's the extra word that I left out of.
It's a pretty important. I feel like that word's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statement. Yeah.
So G2 beats FaZe, of course, as we all expect, and then they get the easiest semi-final in the 100th IEM that we've had. And then, did we talk about last time how ESL didn't embrace Counter-Strike for IEM? Did we talk about that one?
What? What do you mean?
Well, how in the early days we had to create an entire new brand, which was called EMS. What did we talk about that?
Maybe at some point we mentioned it.
Yeah, we don't need to go into detail about that. That's business talk.
Yeah.
And then they're going to play against 9Z, and of course they're going to win that game. And Shuey's going to do his best Counter-Strike because it's on the stage, and it's just going to be like that time that Jordan Nothing Gilbert stood in for Mouse Sports in Brazil. And then they're going to play against Spirit in the grand final,
Gonna beat
and
them.
Donk's going to be so scared of Stewart
Stewie.
2000 that G2 are going to win the whole event. And then Jack Edian's going to come out on stage and he's going to
Lift the
lift the trophy. And he's going to recruit Stewie back to Cloud9. He's going to take a liege from Complexity. He's going to take Naf and Twists from Liquid. and he's going to get Sean Gers to come and open in-game lead.
And Automatic is in the first row watching, crying,
No,
happy for his brother.
He's coaching.
I feel fucking stoned just listening to that.
Coaching.
All right. I think
That's what's happening.
I think for the safety of everyone listening to this, we should end it here.
No, I think
Well,
before
because
we end it, we can't end it on that bracket run through
why not?
because that was a fucking LSD trip.
It's just as realistic as what you're going to say.
What are you going to say, Jason?
Jason, it's going to be Heroic versus G2 Grand Final. It's called stand-in buff, motherfucker.
FaZe is gonna beat G2.
Well, you're lying.
FaZe is gonna beat 9Z. And make it to the finals.
No, you think Stewie's losing to FaZe in North America? When's the last time that ever happened?
Vitality is gonna be heroic.
It's going to be Inferno, third map. Carragher's going to start shooting bricks.
Just like the major.
Actually, that's a good point. If G2 beat FaZe, that would be funny.
Nico knew that he couldn't do it without Stewie, so he brought him. Because you know what Stewie
but
brought?
this is what's
He brought
fun
all
about
the
this.
fucking clay.
Just
Jason.
enjoy it. It's fucking fun.
What do you think I'm doing right now?
Vitality beat heroic.
No, Heroic beat Vitality.
Spirit beat Vitality.
Nikodos is the best AWPer in the server. Better than Shiro
We got Spirit,
and Tywood.
Spirit FaZe final, or you get Spirit G2 final.
You guys are so dumb. It's Heroic versus G2 Grand Final.
I agree, Jason. It's Heroic versus G2 Grand Final.
Okay, we should have ended it.
How can you argue against it? Jason, all the teams are so good. You can plug and play anybody in any
And
team
also
in
you
modern
forgot,
Counter-Strike.
Jason, that-
Jason, you could play for one of these. That's how good everybody is these days. That you could play for one of these teams
You
and
owe
they'd
your
still be
fucking
good.
role.
I
Jason,
think you should probably
You
sub for
forgot
Vitality.
that Nurse is the defending champion and he's on Heroic.
You did forget that, Jason.
did
How
forget
dare
that.
you?
I didn't think about that even for a second.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Respect underdog.
Mate, we're all going to... This is the thing. All the teams in the playoffs right now without subs are at a disadvantage. So if everybody should start using subs. FaZe should replace Carrigan with Steel. He should jump in. He's playing FPL right now. You should play for Vitality and play some Mezzi. Yanko, do you want to play for Spirit? You know any Russian?
Da,
a little bit.
конечно.
Yeah, okay. You can play for Donk. And then
Spasibo.
I'll go over to 9Z and I'll join the Latin American team.
I'll join them. Shouldn't I be on the Latin American team?
Why?
Well, he's got a Brazilian fan base.
I speak
That's not
Spanish
Latin
/
America.
Portuguese as well.
That's
Que
not
onda?
America.
Fuck. So, and then all the teams will be
Latin
even. But right now,
Is Brazil considered Latin America? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
they don't even have a Brazilian player
Isn't
on
Latin
the roster.
America just South America?
There's not a Brazilian player
know.
on that team.
Plus Middle America.
I'm like
Central
80% sure, but
Guys,
not-
there's not a Brazilian player on 9Z.
So what?
Why are we talking about Brazil?
Jason loves Brazil.
I do love Brazil.
Martinez is from Spain.
Spain.
DGT and Max are
Honduras.
from is it Argentina?
Yeah. No, Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Yeah, that's-
Fuck, I was close.
That's
Uda
the-
is from Argentina and Juaso Pic is from Chile.
Yeah, this last segment of the episode has really gotten a little bit embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the flags, Jason.
Cool.
Shout out to the American education one time.
May we just
And on that note,
I reckon Lee Harvey Oswald could have done it. I'm just saying. I reckon he could have hit that shot. I don't know why Jack Ruby killed him in the basement of a police station. That I don't quite understand. Did he act alone? I don't know. That's what they said.
But he could have done it.
They said that Jack Ruby acted alone.
He could have curved
and
the
that's
ball.
how you know it's not true.
Yeah, of course they
if they
did.
said it.
Why did Jack Ruby kill Lee Harvey Oswald?
Because he was told to by the people who said he did it alone.
But so you mean the mafia?
Or the government, which
It's
is
the same
mafia.
thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, Jason.
This sounds like a Jason Rogaine podcast.
I know, it's like weird how these realities have blended. We actually have just memed myself into Jason Rogaine right at the end of the fucking episode.
What
For
else we got to
fuck's
talk
sake.
about?
Nothing. We don't have to
There's
do
got to be
shit.
something. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, this
let me have a
is
quick-
this is our game. We
Let me have a look here.
There's nothing. Where's Heavy God going?
I think rumors I've heard is Cloud9.
Yeah, those were the rumors. Cloud9. Yeah,
That's why the Cloud9 tweet today was like, what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Because I was like, I've heard that he's going.
He
to
could be
C9.
good for some team. It's perfecto maybe if he can go somewhere.
It's a good point. There are some of those Cloud9 guys just out there in the world. Is Hobbit going to join a team or is he done?
Chad?
This is why I'm quitting.
Why?
Don't know about y'all, but Stewie and Dallas has reinvigorated my love for Pro CS. This is why I'm done.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you so mad about that?
How is that reinvigorated someone's love for Counter-Strike?
He's a fun personality.
Oh, fuck all of you. What are we talking about? Guys, what are we talking?
This is what we want, though, Chad. We want the personalities of the players to be able to draw people in, and whether it's a fucking amazing player or a player who's standing in or a player who just has a fun story.
This is what I'm saying. Why don't we just have stand-ins for every event? Here's the thing. No, there's no actual rosters, and they just rock. They rock up. We just get pools of players. Pools of players rock up, and they're represented by an org, but we randomly draw them from a hat, and we go, "Oh, this is a fun, exciting group of players we have together." Why don't we do that every?
How about this?
Here we go. I'm listening.
Okay, 7-man rosters, and you rotate that last position.
Blast already tried that. They made such a spectacle of the 6-man roster. They loved it.
I don't know why they really hyped that up too much.
Because it's Blast, and they want to do things differently.
Yeah, but
No dumbass call.
And now they've lost all of the Danes that used to be part of the company, and it's just run by British people.
I think the point of the whole thing of like everyone getting like universally better is that you just have more people who can step in and be serviceable. Like in 2016, 2015, maybe even 2017, you have a stand-in who's going to be fucking lost because a lot of it is like just set executes. This is what you have to do.
I can't.
It's more detailed.
Everyone I don't
knows.
agree though.
That's fine.
I
don't know if I'm right. That's just what I think.
I just it's tough. It's tough to think that
it's different than the Counter-Strike that we're used to looking at and analyzing and discussing.
I just don't know, man. I don't know anymore. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just want to watch the games and talk about what's happening. And I don't want to have opinions on anything anymore.
Fuck yeah.
I don't want to have an opinion on anything anymore, Yanko.
Sure, Chad. Whatever the fuck you say today, it's going to change tomorrow.
He's right.
Yeah.
How about Kassad paying 65,000 for Knock?
Pretty cheap.
That was his buyout?
No, his buyout was like $500,000.
Higher, but now that the team is just folding and Apex was like leaving CS, they sold it to him for 65K and Jacob for 65K. So
no, but okay.
130K for those two guys.
That's a fucking sick deal.
Yes, indeed.
It's almost like Kassad actually did a pretty fucking good job of building this roster so far.
Eventually.
Yeah.
He got there.
But like, what are you supposed to do?
Just don't get Cirque, get anyone else. That was a bit of a joke, but yeah, I think
no, dude. I'm really impressed with the way he's wheeled this roster into something that's actually interesting and actually could have some effect at the level that they're at the moment. Because you can build that into something. But let's talk realistically, and this can kind of ride that line of a business talk. But there's no way to intelligently build a roster if you go out and you spend $2 to $3, $4 million on buyouts like out of the gate.
Yeah, true. I mean, also it was
I think the way he did it of the options of either splashing a shit ton of cash at the gate and seeing if that team is actually going to manifest into something versus making intelligent, risky picks to start and getting a foundation and building from there. I think he did it the right way.
No, yeah, I agree. And also
he got a little bit lucky, obviously, with Apex folding in that fashion, but like.
But his roster
it's a
has
big
now
scene.
just taken the place of Apex. It's the same type of team.
Yeah,
sure.
I think also the timing for when he had to build the roster was the worst possible timing as well.
Yes.
It was right before the qualifiers for the major star, where everyone's teams are set. No one wants to sell you good players because they need them for slots at the RMR and whatnot and so on. So yeah, I think he got there cheap.
And it's also the curse of being in a management GM position where it's like you have to build a team that can actually be interesting and people want to watch. And then, okay, now you're a top 40 team.
I think
now
your only goal is to build a team that can win. I don't think you think really about this.
His team.
No, but
do you mean interesting to other teams to be like
interesting
players?
to the public?
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm with Yanko. But the thing is,
you need to build a fucking fan base. That's also part of the job of a GM.
No, you don't.
Well,
yeah, you do. Whether it's interesting to the fan base for external reasons, obviously you are building it to win. But it needs to be interesting in some capacity.
No,
and Kassad made it interesting by being a little bit of a fucking
winners
asshole
are
on
interesting,
Twitter.
losers suck.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just win. But the thing is, this team,
well, Spirit isn't really all that interesting.
but they win.
Yeah,
They're good.
Yeah, but
and they have a cool logo.
They're always shit.
I like the dragon.
It looks like the fucking
Their jersey sucks. I think they need a new jersey.
In paint, you made it in paint.
I like the dragon.
Anyway,
I like the dragon.
We're talking about Bleed.
Bleed. The dragon for you right here.
Bleed are in the best position.
Fuck off.
Come the new year. Now listen.
All right.
Because they're a team who actually want to.
Because by then, Kassad will talk JKS into joining his team.
No.
How are you disagreeing with me and agreeing with me all at the same time?
I don't care if they're popular. What I'm saying is there won't be any more of these fucking stupid partner teams next year. And Bleed are an organization that actually has money and want to spend it if it's worthwhile.
Sure.
Casada's made smart moves because the moves that he would want to make would cost too much money. It doesn't actually have any benefit. But by the time that these partner teams are no longer a critical decision-making tool of these players based on revenue share or playing in the top events, it's just actually going to be results that matter.
Yeah, the
knowing that a
recruiting pool
team
opens up.
like Bleed will pay more than probably what other orgs will pay, then that becomes an enticing thing for the top players to then go to a team where, hey, we can actually get paid really well and possibly win, and we don't have to worry about this partner bullshit. We just have to win. So I think he's in a very good spot. Maybe not, like he's going to have probably this roster, and then if they don't qualify for the major, or even if they do, he'll make some changes again. But the door will, that's when the door will open. After the Shanghai major, the fucking floodgates will open for everything. And I think that's when Kasai can do his best work.
Maybe.
What?
I forget who I was talking to. Oh, it was Graham when I did the lobby.
Yeah, you were asking about the RMRs and stuff, right?
Yeah, that played. Did you hear his response?
I heard parts of it. I didn't hear all of it.
So he was basically saying the problem, because the whole kind of operating philosophy at the moment in the pro scene is that RMRs are going to be gone next year.
Yeah.
It's all going to be done by the rankings. We talked about it on the podcast. But the problem is for that first major next year, you'll still have like
The remnants.
Yeah, the remnants from the partner leagues. So that first major is still going to be under the RMR system because they can't do away with it. Because
I
a
heard
lot of
him
the
say
RMR
that,
points, a lot of the RMR points will still
I'm
come
hoping
from the
that's not
partner
true
leagues.
because I mean,
But it's a good point. And it's actually, if you know, it's a valid point and a valid thing to think about. So your fucking 215-day counter might.
I
jump up
think
a little bit.
maybe you just put a little. You don't have to do it. I think maybe you
Stronger decay.
You could
stronger decay and you put a
Yeah,
little bit
shorter-
more value on the
shorter
last
time
on the
off.
major results for that one time. You know,
Yeah.
because
Well, it's not
that
gonna be
major will
heavily
have the
tweaked
RMRs and then
consistently.
I mean, realistically, it's Valve, so they might just say, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
we're doing it this time, and this is the way it is."
fuck it,
and-
we'll do it live.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Are we done?
we can be done.
America.
Fuck yeah!
What are you doing?
I'm playing with broken toothpick. I liked the truck that you posted on Instagram today.
Let's go, Brandon. That's what was on the truck.
Nice. Who the fuck is Brandon?
Let's end the podcast. Let's end the podcast right there.